Hey y'all, it's me, Jeff, with Surviving Divorce, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And you know what I'm about to say. This is the best YouTube channel that talks about surviving divorce for men. But you know, women probably could get something out of it also. But it's primarily for men. Listen, it is Sunday. It is beautiful. Again, I'm out in the hot tub because why? Because this is my routine. This is something that I do every single day that grounds me, that gives me a chance just to catch my breath, think about what I'm going to do for the day, think about my life, and also to connect with you who are my fellow travelers on this road after divorce. Now, one of the groups that I'm a part of is underground. It's on Facebook, but it's called it's underground men's group for people who are dealing with divorce, and men come on there. And you know, recently I just really been frustrated with the site because there's a lot of posts on there. Men are just whining and complaining about being divorced, about the wife leaving them, about affairs, about attorneys, about child support, about spousal support, and whatnot. And most of the time, when they post something on there about this, it's always talking about what the ex did wrong. She cheated on me. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. I was a good person. Blah, 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 blah. And what I'm getting at is rarely in life, you know, and let me preface this. I am an attorney, and I did practice divorce law for a couple of years. I no longer practice divorce law. But one thing that is very apparent is that in a divorce or in a separation, there's blame to go around everywhere, right? I have never, ever seen a situation or even heard of a situation where there was only one party at fault. If a person cheated, usually there was a reason, and there were signs that there was a reason why the person cheated, and there were signs that the cheating was going to happen. If a person left, there usually were signs why the person was going to left, and there were signs why the relationship was failing, and the person felt that the only out was leaving. And the problem is that human beings, men and women, we are not perfect. We are all flawed. Got that? Nobody's perfect. We're all flawed. So if we're all flawed, there is no way on God's green earth that anyone can have a perfect marriage. So marriage by itself is the union of two imperfect people, right? And so that union is not going to be perfect. It's just that simple. All right, so we need to get this out of our heads that it's only her fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best I can. Malarkey. All right. Now, usually what happens in relationships, you can attest to this because it's like you fall in love with someone, and how you fall in love with them dictates how they deal with problems. For instance, maybe you got in a relationship and you had sex too early. Maybe sex on the first date, the second date, the third date, and you didn't really do all your research. But the sex was so good and the feelings and the emotions were so good that you started overlooking issues, little black flags, little red flags, things that, you know, if you really thought about it, this might be an issue later on in a relationship. But because you felt so good, your emotions were so high, you just overlooked it, right? That can happen. You know, then other times there's people who, you know, you dated for a long time, you did your due diligence, but then this happens to you. Life. People grow. People mature. Things happen in people's lives that cause them to change their perspective on how they see things. So the person that you fell in love with at 20, 30, 40, or 50, if you got married late, may not be the same person 10 years later, especially if things happen in their life that you have no control over. Say, for instance, they lose their job. Maybe with the loss of a job comes a loss of confidence. And that loss of confidence then changes how they see you and their relationship with you, change how they feel about you. Maybe they lose a parent or a sibling or a best friend, and it's really hard. And they don't know how to deal with it. That changes people. Maybe people get religion. They go to church, become saved, become a Christian, and that might change them. Maybe they get into drugs or alcohol or some other negative habits, and that changes them. And so that person that you were with at the beginning of a relationship that you had so much hope and promise for to be with, that person is no longer who that person was when you met them. And their perspective has changed. So now you got a flawed person who's even more flawed. So that could be the end of the relationship. The whole point is, and I can go on and on and on, but the whole point is that who you decide to marry, the day you get married, there is no guarantee that that person is going to be the same person 10, 15, 20 years down the road, right? So, and then you throw onto that we're all flawed. Well, it's tough then to make sure, or it's just tough for a relationship to last. I mean, really, the odds are, I wouldn't say stacked against you, because if you had a first-time marriage, about 40 to 45% of first-time marriages right now, currently, end in divorce. It used to be 50%. So at 50%, I mean, it's a coin flip that is going to work out. And so now, we're at this point, this junction, and we're only going to talk about people who first-time married, first-time divorced. To make the numbers easier, let's just keep it at the 50%, which was a couple of years ago. You go into a marriage, anybody sitting in there watching the marriage can flip a coin and say they're going to stay married and be divorced, and they could be right? Because there's a 50-50 chance. And then you go through life and you got all these other factors and variables working against you not to make the marriage work, okay? They got friends, they got outside influences, you got friends, you got outside influences, you got all these things tugging at your attention, tugging at you, children, school, work, other men, other women, all of this goes in. So there's a whole bunch of things and factors that are pushing against a marriage not working, and also pushing for a marriage to work. Like if you have strong community, church family, things like that, strong background of seeing marriages that work. At any rate, the whole point of what I'm saying is, it's time to get over feeling sorry for yourself that it didn't work out, right? It didn't work out, fuck it, and move on. And that's the thing that gets me about the website. It's like so many men are on there that, they're depressed, they're upset, they don't know what to do, they can't get out of their own head. It's a freaking relationship. Relationships are hard. It's over. She doesn't want to be with you. Get over it. She's not your property. She's a human being who can make her own decisions in life. Get the fuck over it. Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you? Have more self-esteem about yourself. Have more faith in yourself. Have more cojones. She doesn't want to be with you. Fuck it. Right? And that's what really just bothers me about that website, is that, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong about feeling bad that your relationship didn't work out, because it was a hope, it was a dream, it was a fantasy, it was something that we wanted to see all the way to its end. And that's fine, and it's okay to be upset and disappointed about that. We get disappointed about a lot of things in life. Team doesn't win the championship game. We lose our job. We don't get the promotion. We don't get accepted to medical school or whatever. There's a lot of disappointments in life. But real men pick themselves up and move the fuck on, right? You don't get accepted to law school, you find another career. You don't get accepted to medical school, you find another fucking career. You don't graduate on time, you go back another year and graduate on time, right? You don't get promoted, you work harder to get promoted, right? Your credit score is not good enough to get the house or the car that you want, You work on improving that. That's what men do. We pick ourselves the fuck up. You don't sit on a couch and whine and complain about missed opportunities or things that don't go our way, because that's not what life is about. Life is all about attitude, right? But a negative attitude breeds negative results. Positive attitude breeds or achieves positive results. Plain and simple. Now, you can be a victim and have a victim's mentality and sit on the couch and complain about your wife, complain about who she's seeing, complain about the attorneys, complain about the judges, complain about how the laws and the systems are fair, and you will go fucking nowhere. Or you can get up and change your fucking circumstances. You can work on yourself. You can go out and you can date. You can go out and get more education. You can go out and get a better job. You can go out and lose weight. You can go out and work out. You can go out and volunteer and help other people. You can be a mentor. You can practice and learn how to be a better father. There are so many fucking things that you can do with your life other than sit on the couch, get on Facebook, and complain about a woman who does not want to be with you. Man, that's just straight facts. All right? This world was not built by men who's sitting back, whining and complaining. And I'm going to be brutally honest here. And this side is all about positivity, being positive. But maybe in saying this, it will jumpstart some people to like really kind of think. It almost makes me think at times when I read these things, I mean, just complain after complaint. It's like, no wonder she left you. Because if this is all you're doing is just sitting back and complaining and whining versus getting up and taking life by its fucking horns and bending life to fucking fit you, to change your circumstances to fit you, maybe that's why she found someone else more attractive and more appealing. Maybe you let yourself go, and didn't want to work at getting better. Maybe she told you you couldn't communicate and you didn't do anything to work at getting better. Maybe she told you you weren't ambitious and you didn't do anything to try and fix that. Maybe she told you that she wanted to go on vacations like her friends and whatnot, and you did fuck all to make that happen. It's possible. I'm not saying it is, but I do know this, that with most of the times when guys post stuff online complaining about their wife, their ex-wives, they never give the full fucking story. It's always what she did, never what you did. Because that's what life is. That's how it is. We have blinders on. And being an attorney who has done divorce, I know it. I see it. So, how does this help with depression? This is how it helps with depression. You've been given a golden opportunity to change your circumstances. You have to seize the day. You have to seize the moment. You have to get up and make something of yourself. No matter how old you are, if you are 60, make something different of yourself. If you're 20, if you're 25, 35, 45, get up and make yourself over. Be what you want to be. Do what you want to do. It's your fucking life now. There's no one to tell you no. Now, if you remember the other episode that I did before, it was called Put a Hot Tub in the Garage, because there was a guy named Joe. Joe was in Buffalo, and Joe decided after he got divorced, he's going to put a fucking hot tub in the garage with a TV to watch football. And his whole thing was, it's amazing what you can do when there's no one there to tell you no. And think about that. There's no one there now to tell you no. Go out there, be adventurous, be brave, enjoy life, man. Celebrate life. There's so much to do in life now that you're flying solo. Enjoy life. Now, if depression is just really getting you and you just can't seem to shake it, don't do the negative thing. Don't drink alcohol. Don't do drugs. Don't get into promiscuous sex, because that's not going to change anything, right? That's all that's going to do is mask it. You need to do the hard work. So go get professional help. There's nothing wrong with going to see a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a counselor. There's no there's nothing wrong with going on medication, even for a short time. Just because you go on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications doesn't mean it has to be forever, right? But get help. But also think about divorce in a different way. Think about this is the golden opportunity for you to change your circumstances and to be what you want to be in life. And yeah, there are going to be some setbacks, and yeah, there's going to be some shit that ain't fair, but fuck it. You know what? That's what life is. Life ain't fair. All right? Now, look at me. I'm loving life. I choose to look at life in a positive manner. That's the only difference between myself and many of the people that post on Facebook sites. Nothing else, nothing less, right? So, whatever you do, however you do it, celebrate life. And I'll see you in the next episode. And hopefully the next episode will be a lot more cheerful. But, you know, this one, I guess I just had to give some tough love on this one. But this still is the best channel on YouTube talking about surviving divorce. All right, take care.